Martha.
Laura. Yeah, Martha. Why do you keep on saying that name? Um, they realize that the planet is doomed. The ground quakes are going to become worse and worse, and and we all know the story of Superman, but this is like the test launch that happens, and then we're suddenly Crypto gets sucked into a wormhole during his test launch, the smaller ship that they're using, and he lands on Earth well before Superman does. And
Isn't it? Wouldn't it? Doesn't it seem like after?
after, yeah, you're right. After, because of time warp, time dilation, says it's of a wormhole. Up, sorry,
Yeah,
time
you're good.
dilations and stuff as a wormhole. So he lands after because Lex Luthor is already older, and he's and Lex Luthor and Superman are about the same age, from what I understand. Let me go back in the. I gotta wait for issue 2 though, of the new history of the DCU to make sure of that. I'll get back to you.
You don't have to.
But yeah, but we get these parents that everybody loves this dog, and they're trying to save their son, so they're willing to sacrifice the dog in order to do this test. But they're like are trying to reassure Crypto and everything, and it's heartbreaking at the end.
He's supposed to. It seems like he's supposed to go out and then turn around
and then come back. Yeah, because it almost seems like the plan is actually to launch everybody out of Earth's orbit, let the ground quakes and the core kind of resettle, and then re-land everybody on Krypton. I think that seems like what the plan is right now.
I think it's far enough out that they don't realize the planet's about to be destroyed. But also, I think, again, it's just a proof of concept where it's like, okay, can we send this ship up and then have it land somewhere, maybe? Like, if you try to think, like, big picture, like, he's their Leica. Like, this is, like, shooting the dog into space. Like, can we do this,
Leica,
have them be survived?
We discussed last time. There was no plans on having that dog survive. There was no plans for re-entry.
How dare you,
Russia? This is re-entry. They want re-entry. They're hoping to get the dog back. Except unstable wormholes are like basically popping up all around Krypton, and unfortunately, Crypto falls through one of those.
I love the idea of, because I never even thought about Crypto and how he got there, or even like the Superman horse that that's there, or whatever, the
Comet,
all that stuff.
Yeah. They have names, John.
Comet was the name of the dog on Full House.
Also true. Why I wanted,
thank you, Paul.
Why I wanted a golden retriever growing up, and still do to this day.
Also, why you wanted to, when you were going to get married, go to Vegas and skydive.
Yeah.
I remember that also a big part of your...
I got to pull that Uncle Jesse. Hopefully I don't get stuck in a tree. Have to get rescued by a farmer.
It's still the plan, from what I understand. That's why Chris has never gotten married, because he doesn't want to skydive. It's the only thing holding him
I just need to learn how to play the piano so I can sing forever at the reception. That's all.
You live right next to the Grand Floridian. You can sing that. You can do
they don't have that piano available for guest use. But continue, John. You were saying things that matter.
I never thought about how they got here. So the fact that they would do this test for Kal-El and test it with their dog, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like, I like that thought process. Then I'm like, how did they send the horse? Did the horse after the dog because he got lost in the wormhole? And then again, like,
I don't know enough about Comet to dispute the fact, like, what we know from Supergirl of Tomorrow. Is Comet a shapeshifter? I don't know.
And then it's also like, well, he got stuck in a wormhole. Wasn't Supergirl also stuck in a wormhole? Is everybody getting in wormholes but Kal-El?
I think he gets wormhole too. Wormhole?
Wormhold.
Yeah.
But I had fun with this book. Again, if this was more than the fact that this is more than one issue, I don't need it.
Right.
I get that.
Again, this would be a perfect free comic book day. I would be so happy with this book being a free comic book and then having it be Clark find him at the end. Mm-hmm. And it just so happens that they find him because they kind of leave him in shadow, wrinkle. And then he's like, "Name's Six."
I think that's what gets you coming. Excuse me, getting beatboxed. I think that's what hits you and why you want to come back for number 2 because it's actually Lex that's finding him on Earth. Is like that, like twist moment. John, I think you are coming into this spoiled by other better executed dog books because let me remind you of the Matt Fraction, David Aya, Murder is My Game, where it's Pizza Dog solving the murder in the apartment building. And I could not read this book without thinking about that issue. And I think it would be such a small, simple thing. But if they had just taken all the dialogue from Zor-El and Lara and like the random Kryptonians that are talking to her about like the Science Council away and just have it be like in Kryptonian. Like we know DC has that lettering package available that they could just put it up. And then just maybe every now and then you have it be like Krypto. Good boy. I think I instantly would have been like, all right, you have my attention and now you have my heart because like I already know the story of Krypton and how it was destroyed and like this add-on story of them like sending off Krypto first as the test, but then they couldn't do like the actual full ship, so Kal-El got sent off like the prototype. I think that one little thing, just have this be a book more from Krypto's perspective, where he's just happy to be there. You know, like he's just jumping around. I got this loving family. They're great. I'm great. I get to go in a spaceship now. Don't know what that is, but my family's looking at me on this monitor. I think would have added like a little bit more of like a twist and kind of like that moment with Krypto being sent off and like losing contact would have hit a little bit harder in a way of like, oh no, Krypto. But this is still my favorite book of the month. I'm just gonna say that I did really like this.
They do try to do that with all the old good boy Krypto, and then a regular dialogue that Krypto is hearing around them being kind of that soft gray, like lighter than that. Like it's conversations are being there, but Krypto only hears good boy Krypto, food and those things. So I feel like they were trying to do that, but they still had to have the...
I get that, but I think...
Oh, the planet's gonna explode, everyone!
I think...
Oh, the council won't listen to us. And even that scene in the park where they're like, well...
That's what I have open right now over on Twitch.
It's gonna be bad. Well, the council wouldn't do that. We gotta go.
I think
Jor-El and...
That's a moment where less is more.
Like asshole.
Ryan North can tell that story in a made-up language or just like blank word balloons, and then you see Krypto and like Krypton, good boy, and you just escalate that through the art from Mike Norton. Like you can have maybe like Lara and that woman kind of like looking a little bit more like their arguments getting heated in the back while Krypto's playing with like that woman's dog. Like the next page is them all hanging out and like Lara's holding Kal-El, like Jor-El's talking about stuff, and like Krypto's ears perk up at some point, and then that's when he goes over to lay down with Kal. Like it would just take like a little bit more to get this book to that point where you could have it be like a silent issue, and I think that would make it hit a lot harder and make this like one of those books that would become like one of my favorite comics of all time. Not just like my favorite comic book of the week. Like the bones are there, and it just maybe would have taken like another week of sitting down before like execution to be like, but what if we did it this way? And I'm coming into this as a fan that sees the bones there, like not part of the creative process at all, but like, like damn, like this book could have hit a lot harder, like on that emotion, than just kind of like a hey, it's Crypto's day out kind of thing, which is what it ultimately becomes.
You look at him; he's having fun.
He's having fun. Getting shot into a wormhole.
Would it worked better if like it was just kind of just boom, bullet point, you know? And then
Crypto was a dog.
The Science Council did that. The dog. Da 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 da.
Maybe they should try that.
I liked it.
Paul, I did like it too.
I liked it too.
Everything that I'm saying isn't a critique. Yeah. It's I liked this book. I could have loved this because
you can find things that you enjoy, but nitpick at things that you might not. I understand that feeling quite a bit, so it's good. Chris, your book.
My book was History of the DC Universe.
Was DC.
You want to throw it over to John?
My book is The Death of Silver Surfer, written by Greg Peck, art by Sumit Kumar. And this follows the Silver Surfer, Norrin Radd, no longer the Herald of Galactus, and his purpose in the universe, showing up, bringing life into someone who's about to die, and basically saying, like, be better, be good, going to Earth, stopping a war, not by hurting anybody, but destroying their instruments of destruction to have that war. And going on trying to cause peace and being a peaceful being with this cosmic power inside him, and a rich conglomerate being like, maybe we have that. Maybe that you stop that. We don't like it. Mm-hmm. And this Bureau of Alien Technology or whatever it's called.
Yeah, BAM.
Bringing in this,
I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Bringing in this former shield, former sword, former this, great killer or hit woman or whatever, sent to destroy the Silver Surfer. She tricks him, she shoots him, he does this. She ends up getting wounded, getting knocked out, and him taking her back to her house, talking to her grandma, doing all these things, being genuinely a nice guy about it all, and then taking off, and then they'd be like, hey, we're not going to be able to get that guy. Let's go get Scar instead. And her being like, no, I'm going to get the Silver Surfer. The book works. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting, kind of fun read. Again, like, growing up, I've always loved the Silver Surfer, and I've read a issue here or there. The I think of his name. Who did Madman?
Mike Allred.
Mike Allred. Yeah.
Mike Allred did the
Doctor Who version of Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
Doctor Who version of Silver Surfer, which was a lot of fun and which was a good version of Silver Surfer. Is probably like the most of a Silver Surfer storyline I've read. Reading, I think, 6 to 12 issues of that. I love the Silver Surfer, but I don't know if I love reading it. I liked this take on the Silver Surfer, who has the power cosmic, who's in this universe who's just trying to, hey, we've all done bad things. Be better. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help worlds because I once led a guy to hundreds of planets where he destroyed billions of lives. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to do this. And then having this person who's like, no, you don't get to save me. I'm supposed to kill you. Don't talk to my grandma. Grandma, why are you talking to him? What do you mean his name's Norrin Rad? Like, ah. And then going on, like, him going on, and then you seeing the dead body of Galactus floating in space. It's fun. It's an interesting book. It grabs me because it's a Silver Surfer book, and we don't get Silver Surfer books that often. But this didn't grab me like the Death of Wolverine, where it was like Wolverine going through his greatest hits. But
that's
again,
what I thought it was going to be.
I don't know what Silver Surfer's greatest hits are. You have the Fantastic Four show up for a second.
Yeah.
To just be exposition of like, he stopped this war, but not by killing anyone, by destroying all the tanks. Let's get out of here before people think that we were involved.
And now that tank is a ghost tank.
Yeah. No, that's DC.
This book, it works. I like it. But I'm not there for issue 2.
I get that.
And I'm not there for the trade.
I thought, just based on what we've gotten before, and I think you hit it with, like, Old Man Logan, or Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell, which we had for a dramatic reading. I was expecting this to be, in the future, Norrin Rad, his last days, like, world-weary, leading Galactus to his next meal, like, he's just done over it. Like, he's been heralding for so long. Like,
there's no worlds left.
What's going to end him? Yeah, like, he's at the end of his list. Like, I didn't expect this to be, like, a current day, like, Silver Surfer story where it's like, oh, no, someone just wants to kill him because she's, like, an extraplanetary assassin. Like, that was the weird twist. I was like, oh, I didn't expect this. And I like all the Silver Surfer stuff because I don't want to say everything that you just said, John, because I think he is a really cool and interesting character that we don't see a lot of. And I don't read a lot of stuff that he would pop up in because I'm not Paul, who's reading stuff like Fantastic Four.
Right.
So right off the get-go, I was like, all right, like, this is cool. I'm like, oh, okay, it's someone trying to hunt him down because someone bought the company that this woman works for and is sending her off against interplanetary, like, targets. Like, not necessarily even, like, threats. Like, it's just like, hey, we're sending you after this person now.
And she's almost a Booster Gold-esque character with the robot going with her, and then actually good at her job because she destroys, like, the alien that's attacking somebody, and they're like, you didn't have to kill it. And she's like, didn't not have to kill it.
Yeah.
Big praying mantis that was going to eat people.
My number 2, because I think the Silver Surfer stuff is handled really well with him being just, like, an approachable, nice guy. Like, he's doing what he has to do, and, like, he does have a heart. Like, the whole reason he took that role of the Silver Surfer was try to, like, direct Galactus to planets that weren't like his, where he could try to minimize the loss and the damages. And now we have someone whose sole goal is to maximize the loss and damage. Like, I think that's a nice juxtaposition there. It's just not what I wanted it to be with, like, the death of the Silver Surfer. Like, I, again, expected this to be, like, the last Silver Surfer story, not just like, we have Silver Surfer popping up in First Steps this year. we can put out a book with Silver Surfer on the cover, and people are going to be like, oh, like the movie coming out, different Silver Surfer. But I still did
like
enjoy
Crypto.
it. Yeah, like Crypto. I still did enjoy it, though. And I think that is like a net positive for this book. Like, it's not what I wanted it to be, but I still came out on the other side of it being like, all right, that wasn't bad. Like, I like Silver Surfer. Like, it didn't make me question my allegiance, like a fading, like, fledgling allegiance to a character. I was like, Silver Surfer.
It made me want to read the Mike Allred Silver Surfer again, because it's been 5-8 years. I don't even know, but I did really like that because I liked it being that Silver Surfer is Doctor Who, and he has his companion, and he's taking her all over the world, like all over the universe. Like, I liked that version. It was a great take on that character, and I like the take on this character. I don't feel like we got enough of him.
No.
Because I didn't need all of the stuff with the rich guy who now owns it, and then having that whole page about, hey, go get Scar. Go, we're gonna do this. Like, I liked it better as this is your target. He showed up on Earth. He stopped this war from happening. We don't care that he stopped the war. We care that he, quote unquote, attacked people on Earth. Your job is to minimize that, to stop him. And then this woman constantly trying to do that, but him always being the nice guy about it and helping her or stopping her, and her constantly being like frustrated with it. It seems like it would be such a more better comic book about this, or have it start with a scene of him helping that guy, and then that scene of another guy like laying on the ground, and her as the Silver Surfer, and showing that he's now the next Silver Surfer and he's dying, and then show us how we got there. Like, we know where, okay, this is where it's going to end. Tell us the story through that. And Paul, you know, I hate
that.
like 3 days ago.
The cold open
happening.
with 12 months earlier.
But that would give me something more of where this is going to go. Okay, we're going to go to this woman now becoming the Herald. Let me see the story, because a lot of this book is about that character, the female character in this book. It's a lot about her, but I don't care about her. She's no one. She's no one that we've seen before. But if I know that she's going to be the next Herald, and him being like, you have this power, what are you going to do in this world? You've killed people, you've killed things. It's now your job to help the universe. Use this power for good like I did. And then her have that moment of like, I meant to stop this guy because I thought he was a threat, but he's helping the world, and now I have, the Scarlet, or the Black Widow, like, I have read in my ledger, I have to now get it out of my ledger, like.
You have to rebalance the books.
You have to, rebalance it, like, now I have to be the good person, but everything that he does, constantly being good around her, and her seeing that, and her thinking like, oh, maybe I should stop, continuing on to then become like the next Surfer, makes
still
some
might
type
be
of
the
more.
book.
Yeah, but the way it ends, like the beat at the end is different. Like the beat at the end where it's, hey, my name's Lex Crypto, you come be my dog, versus the end of this is, I'm gonna get him, and then it's just a scene of a stoned over Galactus floating by a planet, and then I'm
that's
like,
where the rich guy's going.
When did that happen in the Marvel universe? I didn't know it happened. Or is it just for this book?
It might just be for this book because they can kind of have that wiggle room. Because hey, Fantastic Four first steps is coming out. Galactus is going to be it, so put out a book with Galactus in it.
No, I agree, John. I'm going to sneeze. Up until the heel turn that she has, because I thought she was doing good. And I think she thinks she's doing good. She was going to warn Silver Surfer, hey, my rich employer, he's after you. No, you don't understand. And I'm like, yeah, this is okay. Now they're going to team up. And he's going to say, oh, you think you're doing good. You don't know what good is. Like, you're doing...
I can show you the world.
I can actually show you what good actually is. I thought I was doing good when I was a herald for Galactus. You are a herald for this rich guy who has more power than you and has manipulated you into the situation. I will show you how you can actually become more than that. And ending up in a very similar point as you, John, and then her becoming him dying. A very Renee Montoya, The Question kind of situation.
Yeah. And even you pointing that out just now is like, oh yeah, it's totally that situation of her being, like, sure, more beholden to that rich power dynamic of like because obviously grandma's a big point in this, like that motherly figure to her being sick, and the only thing that's keeping her alive is working for this guy.
Yeah.
So, like, that would make more sense in this book.
Yeah, I became a herald of Galactus to save my planet. You worked for this guy to save your mother. You are doing good. Unfortunately, you don't know what good is. And I will teach you what that is. Come with me. And I thought that's where the book was going. And then that heel turn actually made me like, oh, okay, that's surprising. That's different, unexpected. I don't like it. But it threw me, and I was there for it, for that moment, and being like, okay, now she's going to be the one gunning for him. But as you were talking, John, I'm like, that doesn't necessarily mean that, yeah, she goes out gunning for him. It might still end up that way, where she is learning what good is.
Paul, you say heel turn, but for me, like, going into this, like, I read the whole time that she's going to be the antagonist for this book. Like, she's already being set up to be, like, counterposition to him because she's trying to do what she needs to do, and he's trying to do what he wants to do. Like, he's...
what he can do.
Yeah. I feel like there's no switch in her character because she already seems so single-minded in her mission that she needs to have, like, a face turn where she's like, no, what I'm doing is small fry. Like, there is a whole galaxy out there. Like, I'm thinking locally. I need to operate globally, though. I like this, and I did want to give a shout out. I jumped to the last page here for the credits. Sumit Kumar, the artist on the book, I think does a fantastic Silver Surfer. There's a page up at the beginning where it's Silver Surfer, like, looking at his own reflection in his hands. And when you have, like, a bunch of really cool, badass panels of him using, like, the power cosmic to, like, shoot people, and there's, like, black holes around him, like, that just look awesome. Like, a quiet, reflective panel of him looking at his hands, or just floating on his surfboard, like, above, like, a space station. I love those moments, like him, like, floating above, like, a bunch of birds. Like, Silver Surfer cannot be an easy character to draw, so to just nail that presence, that aura that he has, like, in front of, like, a bunch of things going wrong, like, fantastic. That's, like, my biggest takeaway from this. Like, Sumit Kumar, if I see his name on another comic book, I might not remember it, but then when I like look at the credits and be like, oh, he did Death of the Silver Surfer. Oh, yeah, okay. Like I'm gonna be treated in this book. I just want to give him a
Can we
shout
go
out.
back to? Can you? Yeah, the black hole scene right there.
Yeah,
I do.
And even
have
just
to
that
say
panel breakdown of like the bug on its back, the eyeball, the this, the that. Like, it's good breakdown on a lot of it. Also, I'm gonna say its name is Deke Rowan, who's the cover artist. Like that front cover of the book is just him like Silver Surfer on space, but the board going across is red.
but that's
And
also
then-
part of what made me feel like, all right, last Silver Surfer story. We're jumping into the future. Like this is gonna be like a hallmark for the character when it just kind of comes out like, oh, it's a tie-in. We need to put out a Silver Surfer book.
It's still
And then the
Silver
cover-
Surfer book with
Cover art for next one is like a giant crumbling stone Galactus helmet around a skull with the Silver Surfer flying towards it. Like really cool covers that help sell this book. Because that cover made me think it was going to be the same thing. Old man Wolverine, death of Wolverine. This old man Star-Lord. Like the end of this character. Like give me a great
And Greg
greatest
Pak writing it,
greatest
like
hits.
he's not one of my favorite writers, but he is a writer that I know because he seems kind of choosy when it comes to writing what he wants to write. And there's like a little bit of a blurb at the back where he has like a waxing about how much he loves the Silver Surfer and like writing this was a treat for him. And I do get that. Like that comes through in the writing because I do think this is a good Silver Surfer book. And that's not something that I normally look for, so I might not be easily impressed, but like he did it. Like this is a great take on a character that I think should be showcased a little bit. And not to like wax too poetic about it, but the Silver Surfer was Stan Lee's favorite character that he created because he was a little bit more quiet and reflective on what he did and how it all had an impact on the universe as a whole. And I think Greg Pak is kind of coming into the story with that same kind of look at it. It was like, no, like he's a quiet character. He's a character that's empathetic to the people that he's interacting with because he was in the same position before he became a herald. Like he is trying to do the most good possible when what he has to do is the worst thing imaginable.
And he also is one of the most powerful beings in the universe with the power cosmic. So he has the ability to save life. And he has, this endless amount of power. Even like just saving that guy on that battlefield. And basically being like earn this. I'm giving you your life back. Earn it. Do good. Don't squander it. And I feel like all that stuff, it does really work with this. And I feel if the book was just, not that it needed to be a little bit more, but just what Paul and even I were saying, like the character that is now opposing him, give us more of a reason of like them being formally on that same path, or something where it kind of just ties in to that a little better, I think would have worked more. I do like this book, but it made me want to read the Mike Allred Silver Surfer again versus picking up issue 2. And I don't think the book is bad, but for $5, am I going to pick up that next issue?
It sounds like this book didn't deliver on the promise of its title. If it was just called Silver Surfer, #1, would you have picked it up, though?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
because you
and
don't
if-
get.
Okay,
There's no Silver.
I wouldn't have though. And, like, it's the fact that it was called the Death of the Silver Surfer made me be like, ooh, like Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell. Like, I had already read that and I was like, yeah, Twilight of my superheroes. Like that makes for a really engaging, engrossing story where it's like they've got nothing left to give, they have nothing left to lose. Like, let's go. This is a Silver Surfer killing his prime.
Silver Surfer, Life Herald. I'm just trying to throw out another title that actually works better with the book.
I think if the trade came out and it was on sale for $5, I would have said I enjoyed that first issue. I'll buy it for a steal. But I don't think I would continue buying it. I don't think I'd buy a $16 to $20 trade when it wraps up. I liked Crypto too. Crypto is my number one.
Okay, because I was going to throw
And
it out
Silver
there.
Surfer.
I kind of already gave my power rankings with Crypto number 1, Death of the Silver Surfer number 2, and then the new history of the DC universe as a far, far, far number 3. So, John, Crypto.
Silver Surfer, and then DC history. I liked Crypto. I don't see myself. There's times when we walk away from this and it not being like my pick and going like, I'm buying issue 2.
Yeah.
I don't feel the need to buy issue 2 of any of these books. I liked them though. I liked Crypto. I liked the Silver Surfer one. I was very unhappy with History of the DC, and like I sat out on my back patio. It was like sprinkling outside and raining, and enjoyed reading Silver Surfer and Crypto.
And then
And
you
then
read
I got
History of the
halfway-
DC universe, and someone just jumped over your fence and like kicked you in the nuts.
Pretty much.
And that
I
guy
got
was
halfway. I got halfway through that book and I was like, this is ruining my time out here. And I stopped reading. I sat out there for like another 5-10 minutes and then I went inside and went to bed. Like I was like, no. But yeah, that's my pick.
Paul, power ranking.
Yeah. Same ranking. It's Crypto number 1, Silver Surfer number 2, and then New DC verse History number 3. Like mine, it's mostly pricing issues that make the power ranking that way.
But see, the thing is, pricing
and
issue.
marketing.
Pricing is important when it comes to buying comic books because I'm buying multiple comic books monthly, and you're also jockeying for my books that I'm just going to pick up and read to like check out. That is not a book I should have paid anything for. Like, that should have been something that was free comic book day. You hit the nail on the head. Or like you put that in the back of every DC book that you were publishing that month as just kind of like a, hey, here we go.
For a year.
And then maybe once you put out like those 4 like collections of it, like you put it out as like, hey, now buy the collected hardcover edition of those 4 flashback issues for $20. Like, that's not something I'm happy spending any amount of money for.
What? A hardcover edition of all collected of all the different characters and the history of those characters?
Tell
You mean,
me
like,
more.
I have to say, like, Paul, when you've brought to the table the I'm picking this Superman book. It's going to show us where the Superman is going in the next
Yeah.
few months with all the Superman releases.
Mhm.
I've had more fun
summer.
and enjoyed those better in the history of DC.
There's
Even
no
like
fun.
The last one,
It's
you
info
did-
points. Like there's nothing that makes it engaging. I'm sorry, I don't want to restart the main topic. Like, there's nothing to like coming out of that book.
Yeah. And even just the splash page of the art, it just doesn't storytell or bring anything. It's just a picture that somebody drew and then somebody just threw some word bubbles over it. And even like, and this person did this and they became the Shade. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. And this guy was a pirate. Can you believe it? And it's like, no, I can't believe that I paid my money for this.
Yeah,
I really thought
I'm
this was
sorry.
going to be almost like an anthology book of the history, giving me 2 pages, 3 pages of this, four pages of this.
I really thought it was going to be.
I don't know why
that
this
too.
was. I don't know why this was even. They thought this was a good idea.
Timing. If I had read this beforehand and locked into this being my pick, and I went into it, I would have said like, "No, guys, don't worry about it." Like, because there are other books that I read this month that I picked up fresh, like brand new things that I much rather would have brought to the table to talk about and discuss. And you might not have loved it, you might not have liked it, but it would have still been a better book than what we had there. And for DC putting a big writer on it with Mark Waid and calling it the new history of the DC universe, to have it just be so lackluster, no. Like, just looking through my pull list for the month, Hellfire Vigil #1, $7.99, but it's really catching you up on where all of the X books are currently, looking back at what happened with the fall of Krakoa, but setting up what could be happening next. Solid book. You could have liked it, you could have loved it, you could have hated it, but it would have been something that you could have said like, all right, I paid that for it. I read something that gave me perspective. Scrolling through. Oops, come on. I jumped to the wrong month on my app. Paul, you put your finger up. You're going to say something.
I was just going to be like, yes, we understand. New DC history of the DC universe, bad. Overall thoughts on Beatbox.
Beatbox, hit or miss.
I'm sorry, Chris. I agree. Like, we're rehashing. Like, I'm tired of talking about it. It's that bad where it doesn't deserve any more of my thoughts or time. But Beatbox, let's talk about
cheaper than buying a comic book.
Yes,
Right off the bat, like, hey.
but
Depending on your flavor profiles, maybe more enjoyable than a comic book.
I love Blue Raspberry, and I still can't get through this. I just don't care. I
finished it.
I'm here. I'm like one third of the way through. Chris,
As it warms up, not
yeah.
nearly as
Drink
good.
it. Drink it cold.
But Paul, you can put that in your fridge and
I could
enjoy
put it in my
another
freezer
shot
as
of it
well.
later
I
on.
know. I drink a serving of that.
I don't think I'd ever buy a Beatbox again. I think they're kind of a fun thing. If we were going to have some type of weird, fun party, I'd bring a couple of them and pour it into 10 different
Everyone does a shot.
shots and does a shot. Like, that's where it'd be at. I can see having that day where, like, there's those days where it's just like, fuck life. I need to get a buzz. I need
to get as lit as possible on the least amount of money I can. It's the Taco Bell view on life. Like, what can I buy that I'm going to enjoy the most for the least amount of money I can spend?
Yeah. So I can see it being something in that realm. And I can see, like, I'm training a guy right now to do what I do at another store. And I was like keep in mind that like all this stuff is changing. You have these younger kids coming in, and we live in Buffalo, so Bills games are a big thing, where I have people coming in and they're going to tailgate, but they're not buying a 30 pack that they're going to bring and drink 15 beers and feel like crap. They're actually buying two 19-ounce cans of Fruit Force and Juice Force and drinking those, two of those, getting a super buzz, going into the game, maybe buying a beer or something there. But they're spending $6 on two 9.5% cans.
Yeah.
John, you're
to tailgate with.
You're prolonging the conversation now because Paul had his like thoughts on beatbox. Would you guys rather?
Still enjoying this conversation more than the reaction to you.
I'm just saying, guys.
That's all I'm saying.
I also could have submitted the Hellfire Vigil book, which came out July 2nd, but it would have made the cut with how we record. There were two of the giant-sized X-Men books with Kamala Khan jumping through X-Men history with Age of Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix Saga, and also Runaways #1. All better books than this, but I
probably would have preferred Runaways.
Runaways is cool. Like I already added it to my subscription list at my comic book store. But my question: would you rather have more kind of shitty but okay beer, or two really good beers?
Two really good beers.
Depends on the situation.
Tailgate.
Like if I'm going over
like John set it up. Like you're tailgating. Like you're going to the Bills game. You're getting there 3 hours before game start.
Yeah.
Do you
Then I
want a
want really
15
good
pack
beers.
or a 30 pack of something, or are you just getting like two tall boys?
Because the thing is, when I'm packing a cooler and going over to my in-laws, I'm packing a bunch of lower ABV beer, like somewhere in the 4 to 5% beers, because I'm going to be there for a while. I do want to keep a steady drink on, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
If I'm at home and I'm like, oh, we're playing games, we're hanging out, or I'm going over with friends and we're just going to have fun, we're going to play games. Like then my cooler is going to be filled with a little bit of a higher ABV stuff that I actually enjoy, some IPAs or some imperial stouts, something that's fun to drink in the situation, but less of them.
When Paul and I get together for board games together, he has a cocktail book, and we basically just go through the pages, stop, open it up, look at what's there, and then we make whatever is the best sounding cocktail on that page. And we found some bangers that were like, hey, we got to get the Shoeville Shoe Shine McGee over here. Let's do it again.
That's good. The old
we
Chubaville.
found-
So good.
But we found like some of those things that were like, this is now part of our repertoire. We got to have this cocktail. And there's those times that Paul's like, I've always wanted to make these. All right, let's do it. And we'll have 3 or 4 really strong cocktails where we're playing a game, and it's like, this is what we do. Like, do the pages, like, brrr, stop. Okay, rum cocktails. I don't have all of the ingredients, but we can make this work. And a lot of times, they've all been hits.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's one that we've been like,
We got to
the
pour
only
it
time
out
is like,
already.
it's good, but the one we had before this was great. So I'd rather have a good beer over that. Like, if I was gonna go tailgate and I can bring 2 beers with me, like, I would grab a sip of Sunshine because we sell 19.2s of those. And
See, for me,
Maybe
like tailgate drinking, it's pizza rules. Like, I'd rather have a lot of okay than a couple of really good. Like, pizza's pizza. I'm still gonna like it, and if I'm sitting there like for a while before like I have to sit down for a game. Or last month, Yanni and I went to a K-pop show in Orlando. We got to see Stray Kids, which fantastic. I'm now a Stray Kids fan. They call themselves Stays. I had a Modelo before the show started because that's what they had at the show. And I was like, this isn't bad. I could probably drink 3 more of these in like the hour before like the show starts. I'd be okay. Pizza rules.
Yeah. I like a Modelo. When I go out for Mexican food and if I'm going to have a beer, Modelo is my choice.
Well,
Modelo's a good drinking beer.
Trailer for next episode, because next week we will be getting back to our great Marvel movie retrospective with a television retrospective where we're sitting down to talk about the first season of Moon Knight over on Disney Plus, which for that we always kick it off with a specialty cocktail tying into what we're watching.
Do a Corpse Reviver, right?
Hey, whatever you want to do, because Paul, you can bust out your book and be like, all right, here we go.
It's Corpse Reviver, Revision 2. I think that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. That makes sense. Total sense, Paul. I'm actually looking forward to rewatching Moon Knight.
Yeah, I haven't watched that since it came out, and I dug it a lot, and I'm looking forward to making up a cocktail. So listener, watcher, viewer, however you're watching this, here on the podcast, over on Twitch, or if you're catching us over at YouTube, where these episodes will be archived for posterity, make sure you join us next week where we'll be watching Moon Knight and just doing more of the same old bullshit that we do every week. Bye.
Bye. No more beatboxes for me. Thank you.
Womp
Bye.
womp. Hey, Paul, just go to your local gas station. They're probably still open. Go to NoCo, get one.
You want me to put
No
a
more
stamp on it
history
and
of
just mail it
DC.
to you?
Oh, definitely not.